Hello, everyone, and welcome. My name is Julie Mann. I'm also known as the Habit Fixer, and I absolutely love helping women to enjoy amazing health and well-being and self-confidence. And I do that through EFT, which is a tapping technique, through nutrition, skincare, and digital products. And I'm really, really happy because today I'm joined by Alex Wilkins. He's an absolutely wonderful man, and he is actually a wealth planner. So listen up, everybody. And he's going to talk about money management habits. So I'm just going to hand straight over to you, Alex.
Thank you, Julie. It's an absolute pleasure to be talking to you today. As Julie's introduced, I'm going to talk about three really simple money management habits that you can get into, which I've found working with clients over the years that I've been doing it have been really great ways of helping you organize and structure your money a little bit more effectively. So we're going to talk today about money dates, which is the first topic, spending wisely, and then saving with purpose. And I think those three, if you can get those right, the rest of the stuff tends to fall into place. So why money dates? What is a money date, and why on earth would I talk about it? It's a concept that I've basically borrowed and stolen from various other financial planners across the world, as all the best ideas are often stolen. And the basics of it is to create some space for you to think long term. And one of the things that we struggle with as humans and in our sort of money journey is forming regular habits around thinking long term. So the idea of a money date is that once a month you get together with your significant other or partner. If you haven't got one, you get yourself a money buddy, and you use that opportunity to plan out your next big financial steps. So it's just to talk through those questions, queries, things that you've got coming up, events, things that you're going to need to financially collaborate on with your partner, or financially think about with your money buddy. The idea is you grab yourself a nice bottle of wine and you sit down and you grab yourself a pen and paper and you just literally really simply talk about the three biggest things that you've got to consider over the coming months. I've been doing it pretty successfully now for a couple of years. It reduces the friction between significant others around money, which is one of the big causes of disputes, arguments, and actually divorce, sadly. But more importantly, it gives you that space each month to go, we've got a wedding coming up. We need to think about how we're going to pay for all of those different things that go with that. We've got a holiday coming up. How are we going to cover? Who's going to cover the travel insurance? Have we got it paid for? We've got a big project on the house or something we need to spend some money on, and organize your finances in a more constructive way. So carve out that space. Give yourself the opportunity to ask each other questions and to create a little bit of planning time to think about these things. And if it helps, we do a regular direct debit order every quarter where we just go through what we're spending and we look at those things and say, is there anything in there that we don't need to be spending money on? Because that's commonly the most common thing I come across. There's lots of direct debits going out that you don't know what they're for. You've set them up years ago, they've been sat there, or maybe you don't need quite as many. Which leads me on to the next thing, which is spending wisely. Now, no one got rich by spending all of their money, unfortunately. So I've created a little system which I use to help me manage those impulse purchases. And this is probably the biggest cause of kind of financial ill discipline, is you see something really shiny and exciting. And so I've created a little bit of a habit around how I organize these purchases. So what I say to all of my clients is, if you are drawn in by the bright lights of a new shiny thing, whether it's a new camera or a new purchase. I used to be really into my cars, and I was always buying lots of little noggins and things for my cars. So what I've said now is that before I purchase anything, and this really works online, it doesn't work quite as well in person because you tend to pick things up. But if you're online shopping, you're feeling particularly unhappy, you think, I'm going to go and buy myself something to cheer myself up. I'm going to give you the 72-hour habit, which is what you can do is pop it in your basket, you immediately jump onto your phone, and you set yourself an alarm for 72 hours time. And the idea of this habit is it creates space between the shiny thing and your purchasing decision. And as we know, it's that impulse purchase that, that looks great, I'm going to go in and buy that. And if it's not something you need and you have to have right then and there, by creating that space, it gives you time to really think about whether you need this thing, whether it's really going to bring you joy, whether it's going to be something that you're going to get a lot of happiness from. And if you can think over that sort of timescale, that 72-hour timescale, that it's still going to bring you joy, it's still going to be something you want, and it's still going to be a really good purchase, then go ahead and make it. I'm not one to say no to go ahead and purchase and give things that are going to bring you joy. But believe me, if you do that and create that space, the number of items that you don't buy as a result of creating that 72-hour thought process is incredible. And it really helps you carve out the idea that I'm going to buy things that only bring me joy. So I'd really strongly encourage you to create the habit. And the alarm goes off on your phone, go, brilliant, I can go and buy that thing that I've been thinking about for 72 hours. Or the alarm goes off and goes, what on earth was that alarm for? I can't even remember why it was there in the first place, which is more often than not the case. So that's going to help you reduce your spending. A bit of planning time to help you work out what you're going to spend your money on. And then that's going to create room for you to save with purpose. So we often are always encouraged to save money. Absolutely everybody realizes they need to put some money aside for one thing or another. And what I'm always trying to do when I'm looking at my clients' savings patterns is to try and create purpose behind those savings. So rather than just have a pot of money that you put money into every month when you get paid, it just goes into a random pot. You don't know what you're going to spend it on. You've got no idea why it's there, when you're going to reach your savings goal. I want you to start thinking about the specific purpose that you're saving for. And then what I want you to do is in your money dates, and when you're thinking about your spending purchases, I want you to weigh up whether you should be saving this money for this specific purpose or whether you should be spending it to bring you joy. And the savings idea is that you're going to name that savings account. You're going to set yourself down a savings goal. You're going to create that psychological link between the thing that you're saving for and the money that you're saving each month. And that pattern of behavior, by linking the two things together, is going to give you much more purpose around your savings. It's going to create a much stronger savings habit because you can see you're getting close to your goal each time you do it. It does, however, mean you're going to have lots of savings accounts because most people are saving for more than one thing at a time. And that's no bad thing in most cases. Obviously, do all the normal stuff around trying to get the best rate, etc., etc. But this is really about creating a psychological link between the money that you're saving each month and the thing that you're saving it for. And I promise you, savings becomes so much easier when you can see getting closer to your goal. So that's 3 really simple habits that I've been using for many years, and I've advised my clients to use for many years to create space for thinking, to help you spend a little bit more intelligently, and then to save with purpose. And I think that's 3 things hopefully you can find some value in.
My goodness, this has been packed with value, Alex. I absolutely love that. I mean, I historically can be someone who is distracted by the shiny thing. I love a shiny thing. If it glitters, loving it. Also, you talked about the money date. Never heard that before, but it makes so much sense, not only for the quality of your relationship, but also, you know, that planning. The one thing I really don't like is planning, but actually, if you're doing it with someone, which is why it's great. If you don't have a partner, you've got an accountability buddy to do that with. It really makes so much sense. And actually, in my marriage, I very much left my husband to do the financial stuff because I didn't really like it, which when we divorced was a little bit of an issue because I hadn't got much of a clue and had to learn. So it's really, really smart to take ownership of that, isn't it? And actually have a say as your relationship's progressing. Absolutely brilliant. Thank you so much. So for those of you that, like me, have got heaps of value out of that, I recommend that you look at Alex's links, which will be down below this video. Love it. And I'm just thinking, Alex, I don't really do much shopping online, to be fair. I know that you never go to a supermarket when you're really, really hungry and impulse buy. That's what I've heard. But have you got any sort of strategy for someone who might be, might see something in a shop?
Yeah, it's pretty much the same principle. It's just to try and create some thinking space between the purchasing decision and the impulsive nature. Because if you think about the way every shop in the world is structured, whether it's online or face to face, it's to try and get you to go, I forget about everything else and I'm going to buy this item. So have a notepad, have a list of things that you really want, and just try and create that kind of separation between the seeing decision and the purchasing decision. And it's amazing how much my wife calls me a chief procrastinator on these things because I've got my long list of items that I'm sort of thinking about purchasing at any given time. But it does, just try and avoid that immediate serotonin release when you buy things, which is what it's all about, isn't it? The endorphins that is created by that purchasing decision. You're still going to get them, but you're just getting delayed gratification. And I promise it's much more satisfying when you've really thought about it and when you really want it, rather than just buying it and getting that kind of short-term fix.
Absolutely. Yeah. I mean, you talked about joy, and I think that's the thing, is it's going to add joy to your life. And I think that if we're not living a joyful life, then it's about time we started to think about having more joy in it. So thank you so much for sharing all that information. And thank you ever so much, everyone else, for watching.